And I, for one, I was always taught and raised with, throughout the entire duration of my life, had I never once spoken in regards to, okay, maybe perhaps a few times, but not to this extent. Almost every time that I step foot out of my door, I engage in some sort of intellectual or philosophical discussions regarding the political spectrum, the political world. And I find myself 99% of the time, well, you know, rather about 99% of the time, others actually agree with me in my philosophical views, my perspectives, my political ideologies and beliefs, my opinions. And my opinions reflect myself as an individual, and for not only what I believe in, but what I understand and wholeheartedly know that is the factual truth. So with this being said, I've never spoken politics with anyone, much less had that ever been a topic of discussion of my particular favorite subject to talk about among people. And if anything, I always discuss about philosophy, the true facts about history of what the educational systems do not teach children, do not teach kids, and the entire system of the educational platform of schools in general are an instrument, a device used to mind control the masses. It is there to manipulate your thoughts and to conform and bend your own personality of your thoughts to regulate it into their own. And these are the people that are mind controlling us for a specific purpose, for a reason. And the specifics I will not get into, and it's something you have to take it upon yourself, an investment of your curiosity and your time, your energy into dedication and motivation to research and to find all these things and correlate different patterns together, piece everything together, that we are very much living inside of a matrix reality. And the entire infrastructure of the matrix reality as we know it is ultimately and inevitably collapsing on its own. And that's why we are seeing everything unfolding this year, of all the chaos of the unemployment, of COVID-19 on the rise, and the statistics and the percentages of deaths. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are here. And it's not a joke, you know. Revelations, apocalypse, judgment day. Our own demise was orchestrated, derived from our own hands as human beings, as human species. We have done this to ourselves, you know. We have no one else to blame for. We have done this to ourselves. Forgive me because it's a little bit windy. I believe it's fixed on raining. But everything's collapsing on its own. Everything is done by design in particular. Everything that we see around us is unraveling for a reason, because this is the age of Aquarius. We have left the age of Osiris. And this is the Starseed prophecy, the awakening. 2012, in accordance to the Mayan calendar, was actually 2020, believe it or not, because you have 2020 vision. And I've known about this for my entire life. Not in regards to the exact date, time, year of when all this was going to collapse. But you see the economy begin to collapse. You see inflation setting in. You see everything becoming so scarce. And everyone, more than ever, practicing, well, you know, social distancing. Well, I believe it for a good cause and reason, because we have to overcome this obstacle. And this obstacle is COVID-19, the coronavirus. So, today while I was in town, I was doing a little bit of shopping, waiting in line. You know, I won't say her name, I won't say the specifics, the general, or whatever, just out of respect and privacy. But I had the opportunity, the unfortunate opportunity, to meeting yet again another liberal ass entitled Karen, another entitled person. Now this person fit the criteria, you know, spandex outfit, you know, I mean, wearing one of those track suits or something, and this is what I was wearing. Now I was standing in line and I was speaking to an employee of this particular location, of this retail location. And this isn't one of those, you know, minimum wage corporate retail places. No, this was more or less high-end, you know, social status for a place. Anyway, so I was having a private conversation with this woman who I more or less know. I mean, she's more of an acquaintance than anything else, and I've done quite a bit of business with her. And of all the other places that I was able to discuss politics, that I was able to express freely of my views and my opinions, I was never once scrutinized. I never once found myself to be caught up in some sort of argument, debate, conflict of any kind. And for the majority aspect, like I said before in this video, 99% of people actually agree with me. Because it all articulate together. When you piece everything together, everything starts to make sense. It's common sense, it's logic, it's intelligence, it's intellectual. So her and I were having a discussion, because I am a Donald Trump supporter. As herself, she was herself as well. So for those of you who don't know about me, I am a proud patriotic American. I am very much a proud Trump supporter. And he is not racist. He has done so much good for our country. Then again, he's just human. He's a human being, just like the rest of us. To no fault of our own, that is aligned in the genetics of our natural blood and our DNA, that we are all sinners, we are imperfect. We have a society that is so fixated upon bringing up the past, pointing out somebody else's imperfections, beefing, drama, invoking drama in other people's lives, and just belittling, dehumanizing one another, bringing out the worst instead of acknowledging their best, their creations within themselves. And of course, you know, actions speak louder than words. And just like Donald Trump, I am someone who is brutally honest. And I love this country. I love our planet. And it's funny to hear that from a misanthropic or nihilist as myself, but the fact remains that human beings, for the majority aspect, I've said this time and time again, it's obvious. We have created enslavement, we've created wars, poverty, death, famine, you know. And while the spirits of the occult, of the metaphysics, are trying to alter, to change the world, and to envision a better world for all of us, you know, there are these living, breathing organism of human beings consisted of flesh, bones, and blood to destroy the world, to dismantle everything that we as a society of good people, of law-abiding citizens, of people that are, as myself, brutally honest. And as a result of our brutal honesty, that sometimes would maybe possibly get us in trouble. But if we live a life that we have to duct tape our mouth, that is no way to live in the slightest. Okay, so getting into this video, there was this lady sitting 3 chairs to the left of me. And mind you, this employee was right literally next to me. I mean, within like arm's distance, like this. Like if I reach out my hand like this, my arm, I could actually touch her. So, push comes to shove. I won't get into the specifics of politics. You know, I'm someone who's not only brutally honest, but I point out facts. I don't spit a reality of lies. I don't believe in misconceptions. I don't believe in miscommunication. I believe in deceptions. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in a lot of these things. I believe in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, which is your freedom of speech. And you know, I feel bad for a lot of people, because if you own your own business, if you work for yourself, well, you can't fire yourself. You can't get yourself in trouble, right? And, you know, as a person who is self-employed as myself, you really have no time off. You don't have a punch card to go in and, you know, clock in and clock out. You're working constantly, even into like the early hours of the morning, you know. And so this person, her and I were having a private conversation, and I expressed to her, we actually expressed to each other of our political views, and as we both are Trump supporters, I don't know, this lady she just got up out of nowhere, and it taken me by surprise, okay, because this never happened to me before. I mean, I've met one, perhaps two other Karens, like entitled people in my life, in the entirety of my life, and that's it. But now, ever since they started becoming more exposed and trending upon the mainstream, they've, especially liberals, really started becoming a lot more opinionated, a lot more vocal, more self-confident, and their confidence and their arrogance, their ego, is their own collapse, their own downfall. That is in itself their own demise. You know, there are two different kinds of liberals. Okay, there's one who articulate, intellectual minded. They have a way to find a peaceful resolution and compromise between their differences and your differences, and you embrace similarities. Thus, you learn from each other, you know. And then there are those who are more extremist, radicals. You know, I'm not going to get into details. It's a waste of my time and breath. But you're looking at what's happening right now in the world. C'est la vie. Go figure. Anyway, so this woman got up. She rose up so fast from the chair. And I swear to God, I wish I got this on video. But she rose up so fast from the chair, and she's like, well, you are not allowed, you should not express your views while you're at your work. You know? And she was talking about how disappointed she is in of the world and of her personally for expressing her constitutional right and her freedom of speech, her free speech. And, you know, she said she was a Biden supporter. She stormed off and reported that woman. Luckily, she did not get in trouble or anything. And I just stood there, and I just shook my head, and I told her, you know what, you know, in this country, you know, it seems like we don't have even freedom of speech anymore. Because mind you, I went to a lot of I go to a lot of mom and pop businesses, even engage with other customers and people who work in retail in different places, and I express my views. We sit down and we actually have a conversation, and we discuss openly in regards to science, to philosophy, to politics, to so many different things. And never once did anyone get in trouble. Never once did anyone lose their shit. Mind my language, but this was a liberal ass bitch, you know. And I never degrade women like that. I never use the B word, you know. B. This person, I don't know, man. These women like this, they stereotype themselves, and that's why they get called the B word. And then when you go to tell them that they're a straight up bitch, then they completely lose their shit. I was like, what? Are you serious? So, I don't know. I don't understand liberal ideals. Whether if you love this country or if you don't. If you don't, then get out. There's always open doors for everywhere else in the world. This planet is not confined to just one particular segment of a nation or a country. If you think you got life so much easier or better somewhere else, then let it be so. Just go. The door's open, wide open for you. I love this country. I love the universal different cultures that we are able to blend and mix together. And we should be able to have the freedom to live in harmony and peace and in solidarity and tranquility among each other, and being able to embrace our differences and yet our similarities. And we should learn how to compromise. Instead of acting like children or being immature, we should embrace each other for our differences. It's not that hard. If we don't wake up sooner or later, or work towards a betterment of our local communities or society, then this is the end of the world. This is the end of the line. This is the end of the world, the fucking world as we know it. And, you know, it's sad to me. I was just sitting there shaking my head. And, you know, she told me we could not discuss politics anymore. I completely agreed. I guess it's for as long as no one else is around, you know. But I couldn't help it. I just sat there shaking my head, and I said, wow, we really don't have like a freedom to express ourselves. We have no freedom to, you know, do much of anything. And this is what a lot of the military personnel and veterans had fought and died for, our freedoms, to uphold the Constitution. And as a patriotic American, these people are not human in the slightest. Entitled people, liberals, they're not human in the slightest. They have no fundamental understanding of what different culture, what America, what United States culture is all about and what it represents. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, take a look at me. I'm an occultist, witch practitioner, dabbling with the various different magics of the alchemy, of the occult, of chaos magic, of everything you could ever imagine. And yet there are so many people who are willing to hang me for it, you know, because of my beliefs. We have so many intolerant, so many ignorant-minded people in the world that it's astounding, and it's time for the world to change. And it's time for the world to wake up. This is like I said. We have all these different things against each other. All these different races against each other. Religions and spirituality against each other. We have different sexual orientations against each other. Come on, man. It's time to really just wake up and realize we're all but one and the same, you know? We are one and the same.